What's up, guys? We are live. I am live. What's up? We got 2 people in the house. Let me flip this way. Maybe I can't. I'm going to let give it a little bit of time, guys, so you can get into the chat. Okay, there we go. What's up, Frank? We got Frank in the house. Christian, what's going on? So just making sure I can see all of your comments. Hope I have no trolls, Kaneko. I don't even remember. Less of them. I don't even remember the trolls. So if we had trolls, I don't even remember. Man, I need a haircut. I got a little too much hair behind the ear. Gotta get a haircut. Doing a live makes me like look in the mirror, I guess. What's up, Sensei Seth? Sorry, man. Yeah, I don't really care. You know, I know that Icy Mike was back in that video a while back. Probably been almost a year now. Was talking about how I drop videos super late and how it's wrong or bad to do, but I really don't care. I gotta put something out. You know, I gotta stay out there a little bit, and I'm so busy during the day. But I guess if it was more important, yeah, screw him. Screw you, Mike. No, but I guess if it was more important, I would try harder, I guess. It's not that you guys aren't important, but, you know, I got a lot I'm doing. So, anyway, what's up? So, make a breakdown of the Paul Craig fight. Varun wants to know. Hey, there you go. It's 4 p.m. in Australia. So Todd Davies gets it. What's up, Danny? Hey, guys. All right, so I just gotta... yeah, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a cool dude on YouTube, I guess. So the Paul Craig armbar. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm not going to comment on that tonight. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the takedown situation with Vettori and Adesanya. So I just wanted to talk briefly what my thoughts were. There were some good things and some bad things about it. One thing I want to say is, okay, right off the bat, let's get this out of the way. I don't understand why Vettori was thinking he won the fight. I don't understand it. I had him losing every single round, 50-45, which is what I think the fight was unanimous, 50-45. So I had him losing every round. There is a problem when a fighter is so confident that he thinks he won the whole fight. That he thinks he won even when he's like obviously losing. No, he wasn't robbed, Greg. He wasn't robbed. So I don't understand. I know he thought he was, but I thought that was really interesting because Rafael Cordero was in the corner telling Vettori, you know, that he's losing the round and he's going to have to do more. I heard like double jab, right hand, or I guess it would have been a left hand because he was a southpaw, but get in the clinch, take him down, you know, I like the encouragement by Cordero. I like that. I'm a coach that agrees with the way Cordero was cheerleading. He was telling him you're losing, which I believe in that. Like, I believe in telling my fighter the truth and letting him know that he's behind and he needs to do something. So it's great that he was telling him he's behind, he's got to do something. Maybe there could have been more advice on what to do, like more specific things. So cheerleading is a huge part of coaching. I mean, being a cheerleader is definitely a part of coaching. But we also need to give technical things to do. So, so I felt that could have happened a little bit more in the corner. But if you've got a fighter like Vettori who thinks he's winning, you've got a problem. I mean, there's a drastic problem. Coaches are saying you're behind, you need to work harder, you need to do this. And it's almost like he's not, because he thinks he's winning. And so that changes the fight. You can't have the fighter and the coaches on different pages. As a fighter, you have to listen to your coach and you got to do what your coach tells you. Simple as that. So that was one thing I want to point out right off the bat. There's an issue there. Vettori was like, not every single time, but he was at least 90% effective at getting in the clinch. So, yeah. So 4 rounds to 1. Evans, yeah, that's possible. Thank you so much for the super chat. His face might have been unmarked, but I still, it doesn't matter. He got outpointed. I will say that Adesanya doesn't hit really that hard, guys. He's more of a point scorer. He scores points. I'm not saying he can't knock you out. If something connects flush in the right spot, it's going to daze you. But after watching 5 rounds of that fight, Adesanya he goes after the points. Vettori has to gain some confidence. At some point, you got to gain confidence, and you got to say, all right, I've been hit by this guy multiple times. He's been kicked multiple times. It was not a Jose Aldo versus Uriah Faber kicking storm that Vettori had to take. I'm not saying his legs weren't beat up, but it wasn't that. So I'm going to shit on Vettori a little bit, guys. Vettori took these points, these shots from Adesanya, and I felt that he never let loose and actually really got after it. I guess he was thinking that he was outpointing him. I guess. I mean, it's really frustrating to see a guy want to get in a clinch. His coach tells him to get in the clinch. He gets in the clinch multiple times. I felt that I'm going to finish talking shit, and then I'm going to compliment him. He wasn't adapting. You cannot just go into the clinch, shoot for a double leg, pressure him against the fence, lock your hands underneath the butt, have the man in a spread out position like Adesanya was, and then he can't suck him off the fence. He can't pull him off the fence. So he just kind of gives up. He doesn't really adapt. He doesn't try a multitude of different techniques, which if you're a grappler, you need to do. You have to have more than just a double leg. A double leg's not enough. A lock around the guy's body is not enough. You need more. If you're going to out-grapple a guy, you've got to do more than that. So let me say this now. Vettori had a very nice technique that we're going to go over at some point. I'm sorry I didn't shoot a video tonight. I wish I could have shown it. He attempted a move that we have not seen. So there is, and it worked for him a couple times. So if you guys did not see it, Vettori gets in on a double leg, pressures Adesanya against the fence, locks his hands around Adesanya's legs and under the butt. And then what he's doing is he's pressuring in with his body. He's spearing into him. And then what he does is he pushes off his feet. He pushes off his right foot and kind of darts out to the left as he falls towards his knees. And what this technique is it's a way of adjusting an angle. It's an angle adjustment. As he does this, it's similar to what you do when you do a duck under in wrestling. But he's doing it with a locked double leg. And as he's pressuring into the fence, he angles and drops off to the left. And what it does is it yanks Adesanya off the fence a little bit. So Izzy comes off the fence just a tad. And as he pulls him off the fence, there was one situation where he ended up almost getting an angle like he was going to go behind Adesanya. I think he fouled that one up. Another time he used it, he was able to collapse Adesanya's right knee. And after collapsing his right knee and basically bending his knee a little bit, he was able to drive back in and then circle towards the right, driving his right shoulder and yank the legs out and get Izzy to post his hand. So there was one that I'm sure I saw that was very successful. I noticed him go for this technique at least 2 or 3 times, if not more. It did not work every time, but it was an awesome thing to see. When I noticed him doing it, I spotted it right away, and I was like, that's a technique. He's not just muscling him. So that's one moment when I felt he was trying to adapt. But what I believe is Vettori is still too simple. To be a champion, and especially if you're going to be a champion grappler, you need more than just that. You can't just have a double leg and then this angle adjustment where he yanks him off to the side to yank him off the cage, buckle the guy's knee, and then achieve a takedown, either an angle to his back or a full takedown. There's definitely a lot more wrestling than Vettori needs. He needs to work on single legs. He needs to work on high crotch. He needs to finish body locks better. And what's funny about it is, in one sense, I want to say that he needs more wrestling, because he needs more wrestling to finish the takedowns. Having said that, there was another takedown where it might have been the one that I was talking about, where he did this angle adjustment. As he's taking Izzy down, he goes to a body lock. He switches from the legs to a body lock. I personally don't think he should have came off the legs, but he switches to a body lock. And then when he goes to a body lock, Izzy turns his back. As he turns his back, we get into a classic rear standing position with Vettori locked around the waist. As he's locked around the waist, he's dragging Izzy down. As he drags him down, he's doing a fairly good job, and Izzy posts both hands on the mat and even falls briefly to an elbow for a split second. The problem there, it's not wrestling. Well, it is and it isn't. Wrestling's great. You guys know I'm a wrestler, but you have to blend it with jiu-jitsu. And in that position that I saw, you could do it a couple ways. You can do it with more wrestling. If you're going to use more wrestling, you can't just stay locked around the waist. I know that Khabib Nurmagomedov has been very successful with just locking around guys' waists and dragging them down. If you don't have that kind of pressure, it would have been more wise of him, after he dragged Izzy down to his hands, releasing the lock and going to a chop, similar to what we do in folk style wrestling. Chopping the guy's arm, controlling an arm and pulling it in so we can get a wrist, a cross wrist, a locked arm, trapped arm position so we can drag him down. As long as he has his posts, Izzy's got his posts, he posts his hand on the mat. He got his head up, his hips underneath, and he became powerful, and Vettori lost the position. So that was a frustrating moment. Another way of doing it is with jiu-jitsu. If he would have just released the lock and went to the upper body, the seat belt, when Izzy's pulsing his hands, you instantly get a threat. You get more weight on the hands, more weight on the upper body, as opposed to the waist, where a guy like Izzy, who's trained, is able to get himself under. So his back angle, he's able to get his legs, or excuse me, his hips under his shoulders, and now he can start rising back up. You can also just go upper body, go to the seatbelt, classic jiu-jitsu seatbelt, which hangs on the upper body, not to mention the threat of the left arm coming around the neck immediately. That could have been a situation where you can threaten the neck, which then makes the defender defend the neck, which takes away their posts, which does the same thing as the wrestling idea of capturing wrists. So there's a couple ways he could have done it. I felt that he was too one-dimensional, and he just stayed with the body lock, which isn't the best thing. So so that was one thing that I noticed. I'm obviously talking about the grappling, guys. I'm not breaking down the striking of Izzy, but there was... Okay, let's talk about Izzy's defense. Izzy's defense in the clinch, being pushed up against the fence. He, several times, at least 3 times I counted. I don't remember. I watched the fight once. I have not rewatched it. There was at least 3 times when Izzy used the simple post. He posted with his right hand on the biceps. So you're up against the fence. He posted with his right hand on the biceps, and then his left hand reaches over, and he pulls Vettori's head and throws it to Izzy's left. As he throws it to his left, he ends up skating out towards his right, Vettori's left, and gets off the cage. It was a beautiful technique. I'm sure you guys noticed it. It was like over and over. It's the same kind of technique we use in wrestling in order to throw a guy's head to the outside on a single leg, which throws your opponent off balance. Vettori is playing with his right leg forward, head towards the left, which is more of a right-hander's side. So it would be a right-hander's clinch. So what you do is you throw his head into the lead leg. So if I have my right leg in front and my right leg's in front, if you throw my head into my right, I'm now off balance. I either have to change stance or I have to never allow my head to be thrown into my lead leg. And that's something that Izzy used amazingly beautiful and was able to skate off to the side, exit towards his right, Vettori's left, and just scoot right off the fence. So that was very impressive by Izzy. I do not think that Izzy is that good at grappling, at least with his takedown defense. I know a lot of people are going to see what he did and think he did amazing. Personally, I don't think he should have been where he was. I don't think he made Vettori pay as much as he should have made him pay. To be honest, I know I'm being very critical, hypercritical, but I really think that it was a little too easy for Vettori to get in on the clinch. I think Vettori's finishing needs a lot of work. But if I was Izzy's coach, I would tell him, why are you allowing this guy to corner you up against the fence so easily? And again, part of the reason is he's a point scorer. He scores points, he dances, he sticks and moves. He doesn't control the center enough. And what he's throwing at Vettori is not pronounced enough to really, really control the cage, which is probably why people that are Vettori fans are probably going to think that he controlled the fight more, even though he was getting definitely outpointed. So I don't put much stake or value in Vettori's control because ultimately he wasn't effective. He just was not. Adesanya won the fight. Somebody said, I believe Evans said 4-1. I gave it 5-0. I didn't even think Vettori won that first round. So I think that Israel got away, did enough, didn't get hurt enough, and landed enough to score and win that round. So what's up, Voodoo? I got to give a little shout out to my boy Voodoo. That's Pius Enilo Lobo, U of MMA, lightweight champion. So in the house. So, guys, what else? The hooks. Oh my gosh. Vettori. Okay, before I get to the hooks, one time he was on top, takes Izzy down. Izzy's near the fence. Vettori loses his balance, falls to the bottom because Israel pushes and bridges off the fence. It's like Vettori. Again, guys, I know this is easy. I'm armchair quarterbacking this, right? But guys, really, I know what I'm looking at. And if you're a good grappler and you've done a lot of cage training, I would be willing to bet that Vettori, I know this sounds crazy. He's fighting for the title. Does he not train in a cage? If you train in a cage or you train against a wall, you are going to notice that the wall is useful to drive off of, to push off of. Why, when he took Izzy down, was he not aware that Izzy could push off the fence? He pushed off the fence and threw Vettori to the bottom. And I'm like, he should have had his left foot out. His left foot should have been out. You can't lay on top of people when Israel Adesanya was able to put his left foot against the fence and just push off the fence and throw him to his right. And I'm like, what is going on? So it's blunders like that make me go, this is for the title. And I know he's got to be young. I don't think Vettori's very old, at least his face. He doesn't look very old. So he still has a lot more to learn. I don't know his background. Guys, I'm being honest. I doubt that he wrestled. It looks like he's an MMA trained wrestler. If he did wrestle, somebody said he's 27. So he definitely doesn't look as experienced in wrestling as he needs to be, is what I'm trying to say. He doesn't look like a wrestler that's been wrestling since he was 7 years old or 5 years old. It looks to me more like he's put in about 5-6 years. I know with MMA training, it's hard. That's why it's great to get these wrestlers that wrestle since they're babies and then, they wrestle bears and then they grow up into UFC champions. But that was a blunder. Oh my gosh. So jiu-jitsu, the RNC. Yes. So you go boy, just mentioning the RNC. Okay. Somebody said he's not a wrestler. He's just been training MMA. That makes sense. He didn't look like a wrestler to me. So the hooks, when he's on the back, he locks his feet and the hooks are not in the middle. Guys, the crotch, put your hooks in the crotch. They belong on the guy's thighs. If you're going to use hooks, if you're going to body triangle. But if you're not going to body triangle, put your hooks on the inside of the thighs. You have to control the guy's hips. Instead, he crossed his feet. The hooks got above the hips, away from the hips, several inches away from the hips. And in that moment, he got excited. I don't know why he locked his feet. Guys, good grapplers have an almost innate ability. Oh, what's up, Richie Meister? Dropping the $9.99. Come on, man. You don't have to do that. Let me see what's going on here. Force half guard where he couldn't hip escape back against the cage after winning the underhook. Didn't understand why he didn't capitalize. Could have kept Izzy there longer. Yeah. So, guys, you got to keep your hooks on the inner thighs. Great grapplers have a seemingly innate ability to do more than one thing at once. In other words, our feet do their thing. They control the legs, they control the hips, while our arms play a video game of choking you. The legs need to already know what to do. You got to have the legs doing their thing. You cannot be, screwing around with your arms, upper body, and then your feet fall asleep or they do something weird. If you go on cruise control, but your cruise control isn't working right, and then your feet cross, and as the guy's twisting his hips, you're going to end up in your guard. And that's exactly what happened. And so that looked very amateurish, if I may say so. And guys, I know these guys are great fighters. So all respect to Vettori. He's a good fighter, but these are the mistakes. This is what has to get corrected. If you want to see a great fighter is a guy that isn't going to make those mistakes. It doesn't mean that you can finish a guy every single time. Guys like Marcelo Garcia fought MMA and couldn't finish his choke that he finishes all the time in Nogi. But he also didn't have his opponent escape from him immediately. So way lacking in control. So he may be a black belt now. He may train with Verdum, but it showed a big weakness in his grappling, in his back control. So, Richie's talking about the reverse hook, putting one on the backside and controlling a single hook possibly, or just using the reverse hook to force your opponent's hips to turn. So, anyway, yeah, there's a lot that he could have done that he didn't capitalize on. There was a leg lock. He went for. Again, lost control. A lot of guys will do what Israel did, which is just turn. Israel turned from the heel hook. As he scooped under the leg and started to throw up a heel hook / knee bar opportunity, I felt that he probably should have been attacking more like knee bar, keeping the legs tighter. Instead, he crossed and reaped and went for the heel hook. The leg passed over to the other side as Israel turned out. Knee escaped the knee line, and that was it. But there was quite a few mistakes on the ground. If you're going to beat a guy like Izzy's level, he's a great striker. You have to grapple with this guy. Then your grappling has to be top-notch. And in this case, it was not top-notch. It needed more. So, that's what I have. Israel, great takedown defense. He had pretty good takedown defense. His technique of sliding off the side was nice, throwing the head into the lead leg. But again, Vettori's ability to adjust, no switching to single leg, no switching to high crotch. His double leg with his angle technique was nice. His back control was crap. His ability to change from dragging his opponent to his hands and knees and then adapting to either a seatbelt or to going to folk style arm trapping and wrist control like we use in wrestling, or using his legs a little bit more in order to keep Adesanya down was just non-existent. Oh, last thing, the 100% by Israel. Israel went for 100% a couple times, I believe, but at least once he stayed in a good position. He actually locked it pretty slick too. He kept his elbow on Vettori's back, and so he was really hedging his position. He was not lifting the underhook of the 100% really strong, which shows that he's aware of the possibility of what we call the spin through. So it's not that, by the way, Vettori didn't go for it anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. Vettori just stayed down and said, go ahead and elbow me in the head. But, which that happened quite a bit, which made him lose his clinches. But the spin through is something you use off of the 100% if a guy's pulling on it. Israel was not pulling on it. He was keeping it low profile. He was just holding the position, waiting for a mistake by Vettori. Very smart. However, Vettori, no fireman's carry. A lot of people don't. Fireman's carry in MMA? Yeah, fireman's carry. If a guy goes 100% and gives you his arm, if you're a good wrestler, well, obviously Vettori needs to work on that a little bit, but you've got to go for different things, guys. You cannot go for a fireman's carry. Go for a high crotch position. I don't care if a guy's going to go to my back. I don't care if a guy's going to go for a crucifix. I need to take this guy down. I'm going to use whatever I can to take this guy down. I cannot just latch onto a double leg, sit there, let time waste as I'm just holding his legs, wasting energy holding his legs and driving him into the fence while he elbows me in the side of the head. There's more adaptation that needs to happen for Vettori. So that is your grappling breakdown. There's probably more, but again, I can't remember everything about the fight. So yeah, Chris Manuel right now just mentioned it exists just a few really jiu-jitsu black belts in MMA. I think he means like people want to say like legit black belts. Guys, what is a black belt, right? Like guys are black belts. The standard is the standard. I mean, every instructor is different. I am in no way trying to say that he's not a black belt. I'm sure he's really good at grappling, but that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that if you're going to win, if you're going to be the champion of the world, you've got to do better than that, because that wasn't good enough. If you're not going to outstrike him, you got to outgrapple him. It's pretty simple. If you're not going to outstrike him, you got to outgrapple him. If your grappling leads you to not being able to take a guy down, or when you take him down, you get reversed, and it's Israel Adesanya. No, not to talk too much shit about Israel, but I'm sure he's pretty good on the ground. But if you're going to beat him, you've got to be better than him. And guess what Israel likes to do? He's a former kickboxer. He's a striker. You're going to have to outgrapple that guy. If you can't outgrapple him and you let him reverse you, and you let him escape your back control, and you let him stop your takedowns, well, then guess what? You're not beating Israel Adesanya. Simple as that. You're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get outpointed 50-45. Israel Adesanya is the champ. That's it. So if you want to have better grappling and you want to be a legit black belt, then you need to get better. And again, whatever the standard is, if your instructor gives you a black belt, you're a black belt. Simple as that. His level isn't high enough. It's just as simple as that. He's got to get better. And again, I know I sound like an asshole when I say that, if somebody's close to Vettori, but all I'm saying is he didn't do good. It wasn't good enough. What he did was not good enough. So we got to get better than that. And I say this in the most positive way. Vettori, go practice, get better, and come back. So that's all I have, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I am gonna have to go. It's getting late, and guys, if you didn't know, AMC's going to the moon. So AMC stock. So I don't want to turn this into a stock channel, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's anything left, guys, I'm sorry I'm not going to comment on any other fights. Maybe we'll do it again on another day. So it was fun. No, thank you, Richie. I appreciate you. Hope to see you soon. I'm going to start coming in the mornings. Yeah, Skeptic wants Cardano to go to the moon. Again, I'm not really trading crypto or investing in it. Rocket. Always, the more rockets, the better. No, definitely AMC is going to crash. But guys, it's getting closer and closer tomorrow. Be careful. That thing may run to 70 tomorrow. So it also could go back down to 50. We don't know. But the longer this lasts, it's going to get crazy. So, yeah. If you're going to be there Wednesday, Richie, I'll see you there Wednesday. I love you guys. I love all you guys. Lots to come. So many great things happening right now. I want to tell you guys more about my kids. Trent Munoz, Alex Munoz. If you guys didn't know, you guys have seen him on my channel multiple times, teaching takedowns. Oh no, we have Voodoo Maximus coming on Wednesday. Oh, that's going to be awesome. So guys, if you guys are in town, come down on Wednesday. Come train with my guys. I got a couple, we got several brown belts, purple belts coming to town. It's going to be fun. So you guys got to come in and check out Peterson Grapplers. It's getting hot in the kitchen. So what else can I say? Trent Munoz, state champ. Alex Munoz, 4th in the state as a sophomore in high school. So it's going to be, it was a great performance this past weekend. That's where I was, guys. We were over at the California State Championships for wrestling. The season due to COVID was shut down this year. This was the official state championship, unofficial. And Trent Munoz gets to graduate as a senior as our first boy male state champion. We had a female state champion last year. So congratulations to Trent Munoz. Hopefully I'll be bringing you guys some video footage of him getting down. So, all right, thank you, Dave. Thanks for digging the channel. Guys, thank you guys all so much. I appreciate you. I know we still got 53 people in here. I really appreciate you. Please hit the like button. We've only got 19 likes, 20. Come on, guys. Hit the like. I got to go. But we'll see you guys next time with more great stuff. All right, I'm out. Tomorrow, maybe we'll do that Vettori technique. How about that? We'll talk about that Vettori little slide and angle. Sweet little technique up against the fence. All right, we'll see you guys next time with more great stuff. I'm out.